All right, let's talk about a financial account that a ton of people have, but honestly, very few really get. The Health Savings Account, or HSA. Now, if you think it's just for paying for doctor's visits, I want you to forget that right now. We're about to show you how this thing can become an absolute secret weapon for your financial future. So let me just start by planning this idea in your head. What if your health plan, the one you use for checkups today, was actually your single best retirement plan for tomorrow? I know, it sounds a little bit radical, doesn't it? But that is exactly the potential we are going to unlock. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to cover why it's a secret weapon. Then we get to the magic part, the triple tax advantage. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty with the 2025 playbook, shift our thinking from just saving to actually investing, and finally, see how it all comes together as your ultimate retirement healthcare fund. Let's do this. All right, part one. So what really makes an HSA a secret weapon? Let's get into it, because this is about so much more than just covering your copays. Okay, so at its core, what is an HSA? Just think of it like a special savings account, but kind of on steroids, because it's got these amazing tax perks. You use it for the usual stuff, prescriptions, dental visits, all those qualified medical expenses. But, and this is a big but, there's one very important hoop you have to jump through first. And here's the key that unlocks the whole thing. You can only open and contribute to an HSA if you are enrolled in a very specific type of insurance, a high-deductible health plan, or HDHP. Now, what that means is you're basically agreeing to pay more out of pocket before your insurance kicks in. In return, you get access to this incredibly powerful savings tool. So think of the HDHP as the ticket you need to get into the best theme park ever. Let's move on, because this is where it gets really good. This is where the HSA goes from being just a neat idea to an absolute financial superpower. I'm talking about the triple tax advantage. This right here, this is why financial experts absolutely love HSAs. It is the only account in existence that gives you this triple threat. First, the money you put in is tax deductible. So boom, your tax bill for this year goes down. Second, you can invest that money, and all the growth it earns is completely 100% tax-free. And third, when you take it out for qualified medical expenses, you guessed it, also tax-free. A 401k can't do that, a Roth IRA can't do that. It is a true win-win-win. So now that you know why this thing is so amazing, let's get practical. Let's look at the 2025 HSA playbook. These are the rules of the game you've got to know. For 2025, the contribution limits are pretty generous. If you're on an individual health plan, you can put in up to $4,300 for the year. And if you've got a family plan, that number more than doubles. We're talking up to $8,550. Plus, there's a nice little bonus. If you're age 55 or older, you get to add an extra $1,000 on top of that as a catch-up contribution. And keep in mind, these limits tend to creep up every year, giving you even more room to save. Now, about that high-deductible health plan we mentioned. For your plan to qualify in 2025, it has to meet these specific numbers. For an individual, your deductible has to be at least $1,650. For a family, it's got to be at least $3,300. You can also see the maximum out-of-pocket limits right there. So just pull up your insurance details, and if your plan's numbers fall in this range, you are good to go. Okay, this next part is maybe the most important mindset shift of this entire explainer. We have to stop thinking about the HSA as a simple savings account and start seeing it for what it truly is, a powerhouse investment tool. So a lot of people get HSAs mixed up with FSAs. That's a flexible spending account. Let me be clear, they are worlds apart. You know that frantic end-of-year rush with an FSA where you have to buy a bunch of stuff you don't need just so you don't lose the money? That whole use it or lose it nightmare? Yeah, that does not exist with an HSA. Why? Because you own the account. It's your money forever. It rolls over year after year after year. So let's connect the dots here. These features are what make it an investment tool. 1. Permanent ownership. You change jobs, you quit, you move, that account is yours and it goes with you. 2. You can actually invest the money inside it, just like a 401k. We're talking stocks, bonds, mutual funds, the whole shebang. And 3, this is a sneaky good benefit. Unlike a 401k, there are no required minimum distributions. You are never forced to take money out. You can literally just let it sit there and grow tax-free for decades. And all of this, it all leads to the ultimate payoff. Let's talk about how the HSA becomes your personal, dedicated healthcare fund for retirement. And look, don't just take my word for it. The experts agree. An HSA isn't just some piggy bank for today's copays. When you use it the right way, it becomes a powerful long-term investment vehicle that can, and I quote, dramatically improve financial security through retirement.
So, what does that look like in practice? The numbers here are, well, they're staggering. Let's say a 35-year-old maxes out their family HSA every year and gets a pretty modest 6% annual return. By the time they hit age 65, they could have over $800,000 sitting in that account. And just let this sink in, that's completely tax-free money for medical care.
Now, why is a number that big so important? Well, because healthcare costs in retirement are astronomical. The average retired couple can expect to spend over $300,000 on healthcare. So that potential $800,000 in your HSA, it doesn't just cover that cost, it completely dwarfs it. And we're not talking about obscure medical procedures. You can use this money totally tax-free for the biggest and most common expenses you'll face in retirement. Medicare premiums, supplemental insurance, all your prescription drugs, dental and vision care, which Medicare barely touches, and even the big one, long-term care costs. It's a dedicated tax-free fund for pretty much any healthcare need you're going to have. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Most of us are laser-focused on hitting our retirement savings number, right? That big goal we're aiming for. But the real question is, do you know your healthcare number? Because as we've just seen, an HSA might just be the best tool you have to answer that question with confidence.